Awesome. With this, I would um, hand over to Julian.
Hi, thank you, Arun, and wow, what a great video. So that was Anina, I think, produced that. We're just hearing that you're working into the little wee hours of the morning doing that. That is an amazing, powerful video. So good morning, everyone, and afternoon for others, and evening for those on the east coast of the US. I'm Julian Gordon. I'm the VP for Asia Pacific for Hyperledger, and I'm delighted to be here today to kick off this inauguration of the HYPERHACK 2021. So firstly, I'd like to say thank you and congratulations to the Indian Hyperledger Indian Chapter for stepping up again from last year's to this year's to an even higher level, and also this year to expanding it to include St. Git's. And we had that conversation earlier, and we decided that it was best for people to work together on that, and it's great that the Indian Chapter and St. Git's are working together. And then even working globally with Nancy and everyone, we've also got the Hyperledger Social Impact Special Interest Group. So we have this whole amalgamation of the Hyperledger community getting together. So the volunteers here are doing that, and everyone, by the way, is a volunteer, doing great work, bringing the community together, promoting open source blockchain development, and supporting those developers and organizations in India, in Asia, and globally. So when I think Arun and everyone kicked this off last year, it was very impressive, very well organized, innovative, and it was a lot of fun. So I think this year is going to be even better. And we're a year into this pandemic, so I think we're all better prepared to do this kind of stuff. We're all kind of assimilated into doing these virtual events, but last year was a real kickoff and an example of how they should be done. The themes are great this year. We have a supply chain technology, a social impact of projects, and I think what is still on top of our mind, blockchain for public health. They're all very timely and all very much active. We're doing a lot of work also in another project, Linux Foundation Public Health, around verifiable credentials, and blockchain is very much part of that. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share a few slides and go a little bit of background on Hyperledger, where the community is today, and how you can get involved, because ultimately this is a community activity. We are truly an open source project. So here are my slides, and I'm going to present them. So can everyone see that? I assume so. So it's HYPERHACK 21. So just have a quick look at Hyperledger in terms of our momentum. We last year, and I see that Arun, you're wearing the t-shirt. I should be wearing the 5-year t-shirt. We've been going for 5 years, and quite what a 5 years that has been. We have 15 lines, 15 code bases. We've got multiple production releases. We have a global community, hundreds of meetups, and many chapters. And we just keep on growing and growing and growing this open source community. And one of the examples in terms of from a output in terms of what people are doing with our technology, I think a great every year we have this, and I think it's the 3rd years of the Forbes Blockchain 50, where Forbes identify who they think are the top 50 companies with over $1 billion revenue who are using blockchain technologies, and they pick out this 50, they do a report. And last year, 50% were using blockchain, using Hyperledger. This year, we are at 60%, and I see that repeated in China. CAICT, which is one of the parts of MIT in China, they did a survey, and over 50%, actually over 60%. And then other groups I see using over 70% in China, for instance, just as a microcosm of what impact we are having as a community in terms of producing this technology. And it's a whole swathe. These are just examples of obviously very large companies. This is just the tip of the iceberg, but behind every one of these are Honeywell, China Construction Bank, Northern Trust, Maersk. There is a story. There is a blockchain application live or consortium live, producing some kind of a beneficial or society or commercial benefit. So it's just growing and growing, and a lot of this stuff we have written up, and we have a large community doing this, and it is just growing. It is wonderful, and this is predominantly around permission blockchain, but as you know, we also have some Ethereum technology and Besu and others. So a lot of this is also written up. You can see this on our website. Happy to share this. But why is that possible? Well, it's in the end, it's all down to what we do at Hyperledger is write code. And I say we, I'm talking about the community, you developers, in companies, individuals who have developed these different code bases. Fabric probably being the most well-known, but Bezier in the Ethereum world and Burrow, Indy, self-sovereign identity, which is becoming, as I said, with COVID, I think it's becoming with verifiable credentials, is becoming a very hot topic, along with Aries, Iroa. We have a great example using a central bank digital currency in the Bank of Cambodia, and Sawtooth as well. Many, many examples. And I could go into all this, but we've only got a short minute. But this is our code base, this is our greenhouse. And also on the bottom right-hand corner, you see the Hyperledger labs. We have about, I think, over 30 labs now. These are projects which are still, kind of, I would say, not at the point that they can become a full project. But we have a lot of projects there, and please have a look at that. So for those who are working and developing on today, going forward on this hackathon, these are the code bases you can use. But don't just do Fabric, don't just do Sawtooth. You can also look at all the other different projects. The key to what we do is that we are 100% open. This is a technical community. It's 100% open. Our technical steering committee is voted in by our contributors and by our maintainers. There are no gotchas, and it is led by a diverse group of technical contributors, and it's what we call a duocracy. Those who get involved in the community are those who provide the direction and guidance for the community. So I thank all those who are part of that community. So looking at Asia Pacific obviously is very key to any organization, especially when it comes to in software development and other things, especially with the China, India, particularly, right, with a large number of some of the developers and ASEAN and across the region. So this is the area that I work in and focus on, and I've kind of picked out 4 different areas of the 4 kind of key things that we're focusing on here. And this is for our members, this is for the community, this is for anybody. Firstly, verticals. As with any technology, any kind of technology, and I've worked in the life cycle of many technologies over the last 30+ years of my career. In the end, you start talking about the technology is very key. What the technology does, we get all quite geeky about it. But in the end, what does this do for businesses? What does this do for societal outcomes? And we have the verticals. We have a very vibrant SIG community, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And we want to do more and more of that in Asia Pacific, and user case studies, more examples, and sharing about how this technology actually changes the way the world works. Projects, Hyperledger project. This is what we are. We are at Hyperledger. We write code. And we have the greenhouse and the labs. So we're going to continually work, promote, help those communities grow and get more people involved. Hyperledger Plus is something that comes out of, actually really came out of in China, where we have a very strong, and that's really about Hyperledger, or I would say blockchain, and other technologies. So how does blockchain work with AI? How does blockchain with IoT? And IoT actually is a very big area we're seeing now in telco and other areas. How does blockchain work with IoT edge devices? That's a very interesting emerging area. So that's a Hyperledger Plus. And then the final kind of pillar of this is our members, community, and certification. So how do we work with our community of members, developers, educators, governments, and users to develop an enterprise-grade community, right, who can produce this technology and use this technology at the enterprise grade that is required for everyone, from consumers to businesses who are using this technology. So those are the kind of core 4 focuses. In terms of the community, besides just getting involved in a project, I just want to clearly go through this kind of 3 main areas. We have technical working groups, which are globally led, I said, by our technical steering committee. A lot of that is US and European time zone, but we're trying to do more and more, and I'll explain that in a minute. But definitely all available. Special interest groups, vertical, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. And we want to do more in this time zone. And then really what has been, I think, incredibly successful is the regionalization of what we have done here. And there's 2 that stand out. Technical working group was actually the first. In China, we have a language barrier, and we also have a time zone barrier. So very early on I think it was at the end of 2016, we set up the technical working group with China, which is all in Putonghua and Chinese, and they've done some many great works. And then I think about a little bit later, we came up with the first chapter, and that really came out of the desire for all our meetups in India to get together. I remember I talked with them all, Brian, David Boswells, and others, and we came up with this concept of a chapter. And the first one is India. Now we have them around the world, but I think the Indian chapter is definitely the most advanced. So I thank Arun Kamlesh, who are the co-leads today, and those that went before. An amazing success. And really what those chapters can do is they can help those technical working groups and special interest groups and others communicate through and with the community in these regions. And I think this today is just a demonstration of that. Here, the special interest groups, I think we have the social impact represented here today, but I would like anybody who wants to get more involved in these. Actually, some of them are in India, like telecom is actually driven by Bipin, who's at the Delhi University. So I would like to do more in this time zone. It's very hard to do things globally. I have done lots of webinars, specific webinars for people like things like trade finance, which we have here. We did do a telco one recently. I'd like to do stuff, maybe take some of that content and get some input from Asia Pacific as well, and hear about what other people are doing around the world. So look for that. I'm looking for anyone who wants to help in any of those different areas. Well, there you are. I clicked one of the buttons there by mistake. And then there's the technical working groups. I'm not going to go into that, but if you want to get involved and want to know more about identity architecture, please go to these working groups. But as I said, in India, you have the Indian chapter, so you can work with that community there. They have regular weekly meetings where you can come and talk about those things and work with those communities globally. So as I said, the fourth kind of pillar is how do we make sure, and we've done this at Linux Foundation, it's part of what we do, right? We work with our members as well. Obviously, we've got IBM, we've got others here, Chainyard, other who are represented here as well, to make sure that we have a professional enterprise grade community that can build and sustain this community and the technology that's needed by governments, society, and industry. So we have training, and we have what we call Hyperledger training partners, and we have Hyperledger service certified service providers. So for training, we have a lot of free training, and in fact, actually, I think we had an intern last year who's been building a course as part of our internship. We have a lot of stuff in edX. And you also lots of our members have training capabilities. We have 2 courses, and I think a lot of people on this call have passed this Hyperledger administrator exam. We also have the Hyperledger developer exam, and we have other exams coming soon in Besu and elsewhere. So I recommend everyone taking those. And what we've also done is taken to the next level the organization, our members. So we've provided what we call a Hyperledger certified service providers. Those are, we believe, are at that grade that can provide that service. So we have 20 plus. We have I know Mindtree are sponsoring this event today. We have IBM here, who that, Chainyard, all these big organizations. I'd just like to add that Snapper Future Tech, who are one of the judges here today, they recently have become a Hyperledger service provider, and they're based in India, and also, as with everything, are also global. So something that if you want to get involved in this technology, these are great organizations to work with. I'd also like to make one quick pitch for the Global Forum. This is our global event. Global Forum has been in Switzerland. It was in Phoenix last year, but we're going virtual. So it's everywhere. So we're looking for call for papers. We had up to 1,000, I think, at the last event. Virtual, I think we'll have a lot more people. So go to our website and you can submit a call for paper. Is there something that you want to talk about, some subject that you think would be interesting for others? Please go and submit. So that's really just a quick overview. And yet again, I would like to thank the whole community, particularly at the SIG social interest social interest SIG, the St. Kitts and India chapter for setting this off. So that's just a few words. Happy to take any questions. I think now we're going to hand over to those all important judges. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thanks, Julian.
Pleasure.
Up next, our next agenda item is we would like our jury panels. I mean, for any event, especially like hackathon kind of events, it's very important that we have encouragement for every participant. And when it comes to encouragement, when we just look at the profiles of our jury panel, it just goes to say, wow, we have such a great jury panel on, and then they are evaluating these proposals and advising them on how to go about. That's just like one of the opportunity which I wish I had way back in time. Um, so to start with, why don't we ask Alex to speak about I mean, speak about her views on the blockchain technology. And also we would like to thank her because ChainStack is offering us, I mean, for all the participants, a free Hyperledger Fabric offering on ChainStack's managed blockchain services. So we would like to hear from you, Alex.
Sure, and thank you everyone for organizing this pretty great event. I can see that there are more and more participants joining, and there has been like great traction. I can see a lot of movement on LinkedIn and social media. So it's a great event. It's a great way for the community to come together and to bring together new and important themes from mobility to social innovation using Hyperledger. We are very happy as ChainStack to be sponsoring and partnering for this event. And we have two ways of doing so. On one hand, we will be sponsoring prizes. So winners of this hackathon will receive a comprehensive package to actually build the POCs that will, stemming from this, this hackathon event on ChainStack for free for a period of time. And they will also have and receive our DevOps support as an entire engineering team will be, behind you as it's, the ChainStack ethos to always have, a resource for anyone at any stage of their development from, their very beginning, from the concept, like it will be in these next few days, all the way to going full production and scaling with large enterprises with hundreds of nodes running behind. And on the other, we will be providing the actual platform you can build on for this event. So later on during this session, Thomas will be giving you a detailed overview on how to actually do this. He will be guiding you on step by step on how to use ChainStack to build very quickly, very easily, and going forward. So that's in a nutshell the contribution for ChainStack on this. Arun, would you like for me to go ahead with our own section, or would you like for us to apologies, to go with a round robin with the juries? I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll go with the jury and then come back.
Okay.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Amrish?
Yeah, thanks, Alex. So next, I would like to invite Darshana Jain. She's CEO of Hyperhack and investor in the company. Yeah, Darshana. Go ahead.
Hi. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank Hyperledger, for the work they do. I think Julian presented, the exponential growth of this community, and I think that's a testament to the kind of adoption that this technology is going to see. So, super exciting times ahead for blockchain and Hyperledger in particular. Um, as Snapper Future Tech and Indian Blockchain Institute, we are very excited to be here. One, of course, on the jury panel. Thank you very much for that. But also to be able to, provide training certificates. I mean, training as one of the prizes that we are giving out as part of Indian Blockchain Institute, and the certificates on our blockchain credential verification platform to the hackathon winners. So very excited about that opportunity as well. Snapper has always been very active within the Hyperledger community. And of course, Kamlesh is part of Snapper. He's our CTO. So, and we continue to look forward to doing more of that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Darshana.
Thank you. Thank you, Darshana. We are always grateful that I remember Snapper supported on certifications last year as well. And it's just so great that we run a blockchain hackathon event, which is run on blockchain, where we solve problems on blockchain, and the certificates are issued on blockchain technology. So that's what makes this event so special. And I'm not sure, do we have Jaswin on the call? So Jaswin is our another jury member panel who is who's from Robert Bosch Business and Business Solutions. Um, and then up next we have Raghavendra Deshmukh from Walmart, and he leads a blockchain engineering team for Walmart India.
Hello,
Over to you.
everyone. Thanks, Arun. Thanks. Great event to start with on a Saturday morning for me. So thanks, and very happy to be here and represent Walmart as part of an event like this. And of course, Arun and I work together, and he's been one of the pioneers in the blockchain area. And looking at the way Hyperledger has evolved, and thanks to Julian for bringing out some of the key numbers, Hyperledger is not just Hyperledger Fabric. It's much more than that, as he presented that on the greenhouse. I remember being in hackathon a couple of years ago, and it was either use Hyperledger Fabric or use Ethereum. There's nothing else that people talked about. But today, if we see the adoption of topics like Hyperledger Indy, Sawtooth, Aries, etc., is increasing, and that itself is a testimony to the vibrant community that Hyperledger has built. And I'm wearing proudly this T-shirt for the 5 years of Hyperledger. So I remember being one of the early users of Hyperledger Fabric 0.6, and I've seen how it has evolved over the years. Coming to this hackathon, I think the community in India on blockchain is really growing. There are hundreds and hundreds of enthusiasts who are getting things done professionally, personally, enthusiastically, learning all of those aspects. And such hackathons really provide an opportunity not just for the enthusiasts to come and participate in this, but also for us who are the jury members and the mentors to actually learn a little bit more and diversify our opinions on blockchain as well. And looking at what Alex and what the people from Kamlesh, the Snapper Future Tech are doing, I think this is great. This is absolutely great for the ecosystem. And I'm just happy to be here. Look forward to these exciting days in the coming weeks so that I can learn and contribute to this community. Thank you very much and have a great hackathon.
Yeah, thank you, Raghavan. So next our jury panel is Debbie. Debbie is the global director for the IBM, and everybody knows the contribution of IBM in the Hyperledger technology and even Hyperledger community itself. So Debbie, welcome to the Hyperledger India Chapter.
Thank you. And thank you for inviting me. I'm thrilled to be here. And thank you to Hyperledger for all you do. And making a hackathon available for the students is amazing because they're our future. And there's so much creativity and so much opportunity. And yeah, IBM is so, supportive, of course, of blockchain and Hyperledger from the very beginning. And one of my passion areas that I hope you'll be inspired to pursue is particularly in the social impact area. So I love the use cases about blockchain. There's so many that have evolved over the past few years, and the social impact ones really get me excited because it's really about helping people and helping the most people possible. We think about the UN Sustainability Development Goals and the things that blockchain can be used for right now. A couple of things that I've been involved in is with some projects that involve clients who are doing things like using blockchain to track and trace carbon emissions that are being grabbed out of the air and being converted into a polymer that makes new products that are biodegradable. And it sounds like a crazy thing, but it's something that's actually being done by one of our clients that one of our business partners are working with. And it's all tracked and traced with blockchain. We also have other opportunities where plastic is being collected before it gets into the ocean, and the collectors are being paid with tokens. And a lot of that's being tracked all through blockchain as well. So the possibilities are endless. So we hope you'll be inspired and do lots of creative things, and looking forward to a great hackathon. Good luck to everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Debbie. And I think I would like to say about like this March month is a International Women's Day, and first time in the jury panel we have a 4 out of 5 the women in the jury panel, and
Yeah,
even Hyperledger
absolutely.
this
Oh,
is a women in the Hyperledger this time.
I second that. I absolutely. So we, in fact, we were surprised when eventually event ended up and we saw our jury panel members. Hey, March 8th is our Women's International Women's Day, and March is celebrated at Hyperledger for women in tech. And here we are. We 4 out of 5 jury panels are women.
We're happy about that too.
Some
Should
again,
be
well,
an hour. Should be every time. Let's appreciate.
It should be the rule, not the exception. Exactly.
We'll call it Women Who Blockchain next time.
awesome. Thank you, jury panel. Thanks, Julian. Up next, our agenda item is we will try to understand about change stack managed offering. We will try to understand how all the participants can make use of this great opportunity which is provided by change stack, and what kind of support do we get over the next 2 weeks when we build our solution, right? And once we have this, then we will go and open up for Q&A with all the participants. You can ask us any questions regarding hackathon. We are happy to answer all those questions, and we are also happy to hook you up in terms of forming teams. But we'll now hand it over to Thomas from ChangeStack.
Let me first step in. Thank you,
Oh,
Arun.
sure.
That's okay. Thomas is very eager to come on board, but I'm just going to delay him for 5 more minutes. He's been there like waiting to get to know everyone, all the participants. But I just wanted to give an overview of what ChangeStack does so that everyone can, make the most out of this experience and make sure that they leverage everything that we have to offer for this opportunity. So we have designed ChangeStack as a blockchain managed services that is radically simple. You will see how incredibly refreshing it is to use ChangeStack, because you will log in, you will look at all the buttons, all the instructions, and you will kind of know already how to use it. So it's been designed so that there is no learning curve at all. And I hope that will provide a very great, first step entry for anyone building a new product. So with ChangeStack, we have a portfolio of protocols you can build on. Today, we're focusing on Hyperledger Fabric, but we appreciate that many companies around the world are differentiating also their internal portfolios with the number of protocols that may need to manage all from the same dashboard. So that's the main innovation that ChangeStack is bringing. So we support Corda, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Quorum, and we are always open to add new protocols. The innovation is always ongoing. In fact, over the next few months, we will be announcing, new addition to our own, portfolio protocols. And when it comes to deploying it, there is the maximum flexibility available to you. You can deploy on your own cloud. That's what we call private hosting. That means that if you have your own AWS account, maybe you have got credits, you've got already an arrangements with a cloud provider that you want to leverage. That's something that you can use off the shelf by using the platform itself. Or you can use on-prem infrastructure. Let's say that you're a very big company or a very sophisticated company with complex requirements from a regulatory point of view. Then you need to be very careful where the data is sitting and who can access it. You would prefer to have it on your own premises. That's something that ChangeStack can also help out. Or you can be light and quick and you want to start developing with the minimum amount of effort from a DevOps point of view. Then we will be managing the entire cloud infrastructure for you. And you can use AWS, Cloud, Azure, and Google for now. And on the pipeline, there are also Alibaba, DigitalOcean that will come over the next few months. Everything that we do is enterprise grade, has been optimized for growth so that whether you are just deploying one node or you're deploying 30 nodes, there is no difference from user interface and complexity point of view. You can absolutely, we are agnostic. We are part of Hyperledger Foundation as part of, co-member, but like with Hyperledger, we are part of all the main industry organizations for protocols, so that we remain, agnostic in that sense, and we give you the flexibility to deploy everywhere. We have a marketplace of applications that you can use. It ranges from optimization and developer tools to make your developer experience as easy and as pleasant as possible. It could be on core decision for your infrastructure like IPFS or MetaMask. And that's something that is available to you on our ChainStack marketplace. Many enterprises trusted ChainStack and continue to do so. Currently, we have around 1,000. We have just, celebrated the 1,000 builders on our platform. That's quite exciting. It's 1,000 teams and organizations who are building projects on ChainStack on a blockchain. So that's absolutely amazing. But any size, we don't make any distinctions, whether you are a big system integrator or a big company like Walmart, or you are just an individual developer with a lot of ambition, entrepreneurial spirit. We give you the same attention, the same care, and the same opportunities to make a success of your project. We've been mentioned on Forbes, on Yahoo Finance. Gartner has mentioned them for 2 years in a row in their blockchain hype cycle, and we have invested heavily on research and development. That's at the core of our mission, to keep developing and being able to always push the boundaries of what is available and possible on the development of blockchain projects. We have 2 patents. One is already been embedded on our product. It's called Bold. And but we keep, there will be more coming, and that's something that we keep pushing as a team, as an ethos for the entire team. You can see the team is not that big. We are still a startup, that makes it very accessible. It's just 20 of us, roughly. We are spread across the globe. We are a diverse team, very enthusiastic. The majority of our background is actually on enterprises. We're coming with a lot of experience from all the major innovators out there, and we bring all of that knowledge and exposure to anyone building with us. So in a nutshell, ChainStack is really about flexible deployment options, whether it's on cloud, on-prem, or on anything in between as a hybrid solution. You can just develop your project. I will just give you a very, very high-level overview. Then when the hackathon will progress, I will not be directly involved with supporting you guys because I will be on the jury side. So I have to wear a different hat. So I will be on the judging side. But the entire team of ChainStack will be available on our Gitter lobby, where you can access them and ask any question about everything that has to do with the deployment of your own POC. So we provide an orchestration layer, and you can deploy on your own cloud or on ChainStack cloud. You can mix them both, and it can be very sophisticated from a geographical point of view, even from a multi-cloud point of view. You may have some nodes in some geographies that are on AWS, some other geographies that will prefer to have Azure, for example, and some others that will be on your on-prem. You can mix everything, and ChainStack will be like the power glue that will bring everything in one dashboard. So yeah, you can deploy, you can manage and scale very, very easily. It can take you from experimentation, that's going to be the next month for all of us together, all the way to production, where you can build and scale very, very easily. And in particular for Hyperledger, these are the technical specifications. Now, Thomas will get into the really details of everything that is on this slide. But we've been part of the Hyperledger community for quite some time now. We've provided automated deployment for quite some time now, and we are actively involved in a number of initiatives within the Hyperledger fabric and the wider community of Hyperledger, including, for example, the media and entertainment SIG, and the Italian chapter personally, as I'm originally from Italy, so helping to evangelize and spread the word in a language other than English overall. I think that's about it from me. If you want to get involved with ChainStack, regardless of what it is, this initiative, you can find all of these resources. We will be sharing it after this session, thanks to Arun's cascading it to everyone, so that you can easily reference back. You're very welcome to contact me wearing my ChainStack hat at any point. You can grab a virtual coffee We're just booking a meeting with our self-service apps thanks to HubSpot. And the tutorial and resources are here. You can take notes, but we will sending probably either myself or Neha on this chat. We'll be posting the links. Okay, that's all from me. Thomas, do you want to take over?
Hi, sure. Do I sound okay? Is it too loud, too soft? It's okay. Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Thank you for letting us have the time. Today, I will show you how to use ChainStack. Sorry if I'm not glazing at you directly because I'm using full screens. I'll show you how to use ChainStack to the participants. I totally understand how hard it is to come up with a big project in 2 weeks for a hackathon. So ChainStack will be an ideal solution for you because we handle the infrastructure for you. You just have to click a few buttons and everything will be ready to go. So let me share my screen. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm gonna skip the sign up flow. That's quite straightforward. Hold on, my mouse. Okay, so before this event, I already spin up a network. I'm gonna show you how it is, what's the process of spinning up a network. But to save time, I already spin up a network of 3 nodes for 3 organizations. I'll show you guys later. This will be the project that we'll be using. So on ChainStack, when you log in, you'll see an interface like this. And the first thing you need to do is to create a project. So there's consortium, project, and public chain. So because we're using Hyperledger today for the event, we're gonna use a consortium network. And let's call it demo. So once you create the project, the next thing you do is to spin up a network. So we're gonna do Hyperledger network. Gonna call it demo 1. And here you will have to select your identity issuer, which you will deploy when you spin up a CryptoGen. I'll show you guys later. If you're familiar with Fabric infrastructure, this should be very straightforward to you. Okay, and you can choose the cloud you want to deploy this on. Let's choose GCP or anything you want. And
You're on mute, Thomas.
oh my God.
No,
Hey,
no,
guys,
now you're okay. Yeah,
okay.
Just the last seconds.
Oh, okay. So here you see this cost. You can ignore that because ChainStack is providing free usage for 2 weeks. Am I right, Alex?
Perfectly.
Yeah. So you create the network and now you just wait. And to invite other organizations to the network, you have to go to members, and right here you just invite them. I have a few accounts. Yep. So I've created a few accounts for this event. So I'm gonna invite HYPERHACK1 to the project. So once you do that, HYPERHACK1 will receive a notification. So we will now log in as HYPERHACK1. HYPERHACK1. Sorry, I forgot. Let me copy that. Yep. So when I come in, you can see I'm already part of the network I spin up yesterday. So right here, I should see a notification to the demo project. When I click accept, I can see that now I'm part of this consortium. And now the network is still spinning up. I will, after the network spins up, I can deploy a node onto the network like this. Yeah. But because we'll be using developer account, there are 4 tiers. So the developer tier only allows us to deploy 1 node. So when I try to deploy another one, it says node limit reached, which is totally fine. Because if I'm not wrong, there should be 4 or 5 of you in every team. And together you can spin up 4 or 5 nodes. Yep. So this is how you use ChainStack. Now let's go deeper into what the network has. So the first thing you need to know is we have the service nodes here, the orderer. So right here, you can access the orderer name and RPC endpoint, which is very important. And you can also export the orderer TRS certificate right here. So everything is done for you already. You just have to click a few buttons and your infrastructure will be ready. And similarly here, like I said, the CryptoGen that you deployed, right here, if you go to identity issuer, here you will, here you can deploy the CryptoGen. But we already deployed one, so we will use that one. And you can also export the details, the files from this CryptoGen that was deployed. And also, you can see, sorry, you can see the admin identity here. You can export the MSP folder and everything. I will do a thorough walkthrough with you guys in a short while. So is there any question on regards to this, in regards to this so far? Like, is this, am I too fast? Am I too slow? Anything?
No, Thomas, just I can see one question. Instead of typing it, I'm just going to answer it. It's creating an account in console ChainStack. Is it free? So yes, but you will need credit card details for authentication purposes. We will not be charging anything. For the participants in the hackathon, we will be providing the platform for free, so you can build on the platform. Unfortunately, we just support Hyperledger Fabric. So if your project would be on Fabric, then that would be possible on ChainStack. If it's not on Fabric, you decide to pick from the very nice and wise greenhouse that Julian was mentioning earlier, and then you may have to arrange with a different type of infrastructure for your backend. But yeah, it is free. After we select the winners, we will also be giving an additional package that will take you also to go from pre-prod to prod with your project afterwards.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna continue now. So ChainStack, we actually ran a few boot camps. Some of you might have joined us for the boot camps. So during the bootcamp, we actually wrote a repo that actually deploys a user interface that connects with the network you spin up, and it has a smart contract that you can use to test. So today we're gonna use this repo. We're gonna link it to the network that we spin up here, and give you an understanding on how you can build a UI on top of Hyperledger Fabric. Some of you might already know how to do this. Some of you might not. Today we'll go through this together. So if I'm too fast again, please stop me. I will go slower. So the first thing we do, of course, is we clone the repo. Sorry. So we clone this repo. I'm gonna put it in my desktop.
Thomas, there is one question.
Yeah.
Is network creation done via ChainStack dashboard?
It is, yeah, like I show you, just click a few buttons and you have your network. So if you look here, it's still pending. It'll take about 7 minutes, if I'm not wrong, to spin up a network. So yes, we actually handle the network deployment, the node deployment for you behind the scenes. So this using ChainStack, you just really have to click a few buttons and it's done.
Yeah, Thomas, I think it goes back to the radically simple bit that is very surprising to people. Yes, what you saw, what was the flow that Thomas just showed is what it takes to actually deploy the entire network. It's so easy.
Yeah. Okay. So if I'm too fast again, please tell me. So now I have my look at my desktop. So first step is we will need to install the dependencies. So you can see there are 3 folders. One is the contract folder, which where we put our chain code. One web app, where we put our front end and back end codes, using Node.js, and the channel, which we recently added. This will show you. It has a config.txt file and some steps that tells you how to deploy your own channel We can go through that later if we have the time. So first thing first, we need to install our dependencies. So it's basically there's npm install on the server directory. Yes, vpin, the guides are here on this repo, within this repo readme. If you have questions after you download the repo, you can always use our Gitter chat. Neha, can you please share the Gitter chat link in the chat, in the Zoom chat again? So we will be monitoring it, and you can ask questions if you have any, and we will answer them. How did you open the terminal? I use my. How did you open the terminal? I use item. Yep, this is software you can download.
I think they got confused it to be from within ChangeStack's platform.
Oh no. Yeah, sorry, I'm confused with the question myself. Okay, so now we have the server dependency installed. We can go into the client, and here again we just install it. You guys are very proactive of any key vault. Yes, we actually store them. I think it was HashiCorp vault, if I'm not wrong. Sorry, I need to verify this with our backend team. I forgot the exact software that we use, or the library that we use for this.
Thomas, one more question. For identity creation in ChangeStack, is Cryptogen the only option?
Yes, for now. We are releasing Fabric CA soon. We're working on it right now. So if you go to again Vault, and when you choose an identity, sorry, issuers, that's for Corda, and you can see that we have Fabric CA in progress. We should release that soon, I hope. Yeah, we're working very hard on this. Okay, so let's go back here. Right now, we have everything set up. So the next thing we need to do is we need to export the certificates that comes with the network that we deployed. So let's start. I'm gonna use my own account, not this one. So you can see the network has already been up and running, but we're not gonna use that today. So right here, the first thing first, I am going to retrieve data from ChangeStack and put it into my repo, which I will open up now. I'm using Sublime Text. I know a lot of you use VS Code, but I'm old school. Okay, so here is the repo. So if you go into web app, like I say, you can see the front end, the backend codes, and everything. So here there's a search directory. Here is where we need to put the TLS certificates and all that, MSC folder. So I'll show you how to do that. It's also written in the guidelines in here. Yep, I'll find it later. There is a search. So right here, there's a README. Yep, this is the instruction to follow to export the details and put them in the folder. I'm going to show you how it works, how you can do it. I believe they will record this video. So when you're doing this and you can't remember the steps, you can always deploy them again. So first thing first, I will export this. Let's take a look at what it is. Hold on. So in here, we have the MSP folder. That's what we need. The rest we can remove. And next, we will download the connection profile, which is here. Yep. Again, move it to desktop. And next, we will need orderer TI certificate. So here, in the orderer, yeah, you guys can reference the video or you can ask in Gita if you can't find them. Yep. So this is the order certificate. This is the MSP folder. And I believe we are missing the peer details. So I'm the owner of Node 1. So I'm gonna just go into Node 1 because I own this. If you look at Node 2, you can see that I don't have access to some details that's sensitive because I'm not the owner of this node. So let me go to Node 1 and I'll export my access credentials. Right. No. Sorry, let me do that again. Oh. TLSCA. Let's export these two so you guys know how it looks like. Yep. This is our CryptoGen. And yes. No, sorry. Does each peer organization host their own orderer nodes? No. We have one orderer per network. I don't know if that answers your question. Yeah. So I'm gonna put them in here. So we have that done. Now we will update the ENV details. So right here, you can preset like your channel ID, the name of the chain code, version sequence. And we have some codes to automate some of the steps, but this data has to be provided by you. So first we will take the, we will retrieve the MSP ID from the organization, which is MSP ID, right here. This one, right? Copy and replace it here. Next, we will retrieve the orderer node name. So right here, copy. And lastly, the peer name. Yep. So that's all. And next, we will spin up our front end and back end on our local machine. So first thing first, let's spin up the back end. Run start. Yeah. And then we'll open a new terminal to spin up the front end. You can build the front end codes if you want. So they will coincide on the same port as the backend codes. Client. So I'm just showing you an option to spin up dynamically. So just give it a bit of time. Okay, so when we access our port, we should see, okay, we have some error. Let's see what's going on. Oh, we forgot the most important step. Sorry, guys. We need to install the binaries. Yeah, sorry, I'm too nervous. So as you can see, the error just now is complaining that we don't have the binaries, like the peer binary or the discovery binary that we use to communicate with the server. So this is actually quite crucial. So right now there is a script here that that pulls the fabric binaries and put it into our local HR directory. Let's just run that. This will take a while. If you guys have any question, please feel free to ask. We will answer them directly.
There is one. Does each peer organization host their own order nodes?
Yeah, I answered that just now. So yes, no, actually each network has one order node that comes with the network. Yeah. Okay, so we have the binaries now installed. So we are going to spin up our backend again. Should be fast. Okay. So you can see right here, we have some details from of the network that this current peer is connected to. So you can see our ORD, the order details and node 1, node 2, node 3. These are all retrieved via discovery. I'm gonna do a little bit more and then I will show you guys the codes. So when you are editing on this repo for your hackathon, you know what files to edit and yep. So this is my my MSP ID for my organization. So the first thing first, I am going to click this button, which basically install the chain code that is inside the contract folder. Yep. So show you a little bit more on the chain code. Where is it? Yep. This is the chain code we have. So a few function, basically a put, a like a command. Yeah. So you package it and then you install it. So right now we're waiting for it to install on our network. Take a little while. Yeah. So after this, I will show you how to connect to the network from another chain, another organization. Oh, it's done. As you can see right here, we have no approvals right now. So we are using majority by default for our endorsement policy. So we will need 2 approvals in this case for us to commit the chain code. So let me show you what happens if I were to click on approve. You can see I have approval here for my MSP ID. And if I click on commit, I should receive an error on endorsement policy failure. Yep. Endorsement policy failure. Exactly. So right now, how do we switch to a different organization if we want to approve it? So if you understand Hyperledger Fabric, you can understand that the certificates that we download, it basically authenticate us and give us permission to execute certain commands. So right now we are using certificates from node 1. So the UI spin up according to the permission we get and the details we retrieve. So right now I am going to go into our second node and then install the chain code and then approve it. So yep. So this one, So we're gonna redo the steps we did just now for Org 1, Organization 1. So before I do that, let's create a new folder. Oh, sorry. Let's create a new folder for certs2, so we can put our certs here. So first thing first, we will need to export connection profile. We go to CryptoGen, export that. Ignore the errors for now. Go back. We go to, we need our MSP and the orderer certificate. I'm just doing this fast so I don't waste your time. And this one. Right. Okay. Downloads. I'm gonna take everything out except this one. I think this is from the previous. Let's download. Desktop and certs2. Gonna export all of this. Just delete this. Order certificate. Okay. And we clean them up. All right. So the next step, we simply have to just change the values of these three on our env file. And also we need to change the cert folder. I'll show you guys what I mean in a while. So let's retrieve these details. My MSP ID. The order name should be the same, but let's just verify. It is the same. Yep. So we don't need to touch the order name. Lastly, is our peer name, which is very important. The peer that we are using to connect. Okay. Right here, we have everything we need. The last thing we need to do is, because the repo is hardwired to the certs directory path, so we need to rename certs2 to certs so they find the right file. I'm going to show you. If you don't understand, you can ask questions. I'll be happy to answer. So we just rename this back to certs and everything will be nicely synced. Now we will restart our backend. And now if we refresh this, we can see nothing. We are, sorry, we are connected via, this is our MSP ID right now. It's a different one from the previous one. We're gonna install the chain code that was installed, and then we will approve and commit, and it should work. Just be patient. Good things take time. Oh, there's an error. Let's see what happened. Okay, query install. This is weird. Yeah. But let's wait a bit and see what happens. Okay, as you can see, the chain code has been installed. Let's approve it. and we commit, and we should have majority. Yep, we have 2 approvals. So when we commit this, and we have it, it's been committed to the channel. Now let's access the chain code, and you can see right here we have 3 forms. These are actually dynamically created. These forms, you can check the front end code. I can show it to you. So basically use the chain code meta. And so if you have 4 functions, it will show 4 forms. You can play around with the repo, and you can see more. So this is, like I say, put. This is get, and this is delete. So let's put something into HYPERHACK rocks. I don't know. Let's spell this correct. Okay, I'm gonna opt in. Oh, define. Not yet. Okay, so this should be an error that I fixed recently. This should be because of some codes I fixed recently. Okay, let's go in and take a look. Deep dive. This one probably. So let me just check back to what I did. Murphy's Law. Okay, let's just revert that. Restart the server. And we try again. Failed to invoke. Okay, there's some errors. I think it might be because of the changes I made last night. I was too eager to add in the channel deployment flow. My bad, guys, sorry. But anyway, this is the flow. This is the flow of how you can use the UI with your network. So right now I'm gonna deep dive into the codes. Or actually, you guys can decide. We still have a little bit of time. How much time do we have left, Anu?
Arun, I believe the session was planned till 2 p.m. on our side, Thomas, but I will let Arun.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
so,
yes. We still have time. Yeah.
Okay, so can you guys decide whether you want to see how to create a channel, or you want to deep dive into the code repo and to understand more on how when you are gonna use this to build your hackathon event, so you know where the codes are for each different section. So can anyone just put in the chat what's more interesting to you, and we can go through that for the remaining 50 minutes.
I saw on one of the earlier question, is it possible for somebody to SSH into these nodes, log into these nodes?
I believe so, yes. Actually, when you mean to access the logs, right? Yeah, we actually have logs function for this right here. Oh, oh no, not for developer accounts. So yes, I believe so. I need to just verify on that. Sorry, we don't really have requests to SSH into the nodes often. Yeah.
If it is critical to your building for the hackathon, just make a request and we will look into it. Just use Gitter to make any specific request in that sense.
Yep. So nobody has preference on deploying a channel or deep diving into the repo.
Just one more question or comment, probably it's more for Arun than for you, Thomas. Is it compulsory to host our blockchain solution for the chosen problem statement onto the cloud, or can we host it locally and present it.
So Aparna, this is a tricky question because this question has to be answered by the jury, and I don't see jury panel on the call currently. Um, so we recommend you to keep your solution available so that if jury would like to explore it further and they have access to it, that would be our recommendation. But then you're free to choose your platform.
Okay. Yeah. So that's all on the technical side. Anyone else have any question? I hope everyone learned today. If you want me to go through more, I can. I have 15 minutes left, I think. If not, if you have any question, please ask in Zoom and we'll answer them.
So any questions from anyone, including students? I know you all had many questions asking through emails. It would be best time to utilize when we have ChangeStack team live with us. We can directly ask them all the questions.
So can I just, I mean, we have around like 50 people on the call of the participants. By you can raise the hands on the on the platform on here on Zoom. How many are planning to build on Fabric? Just to give us a parameters. So feel free to comment on the chat by means if you just go to reactions and then you can put the raise of hands.
Others are
If you're ready.
4, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12.
So I mean let's raise hand. Let's use raise hand feature because the other emojis they get lost after a few seconds.
Okay.
So I saw many of you were ticking yes and some other symbols, which goes away in few seconds.
I think everyone is being very proactive in showing.
11 raised hands.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so anything at all, if you have questions about chain code, or like Thomas is here and he's able to deep dive on anything that is specific. If it's a more general question also about deployment, we're also very happy to answer. Even if it's outside of ChangeStack, anything at all, just ask.
So to all the participants, as part of next step, right? We will be connecting you and sending you details of how you can sign up on ChangeStack and how you can start using like right away the platform offering, right? And yeah, Alex.
No, just a quick one, because I've seen it in questions also. In order to open an account, you do need a credit card details, but we're not going to charge anything. But if you have issues with that, I believe that Arun and the team will be able to help out if you don't have access to a credit card to input.
All
right.
All right. We'll be sending you all the details of how you can register, the step-by-step instructions on ChangeStack, and rest of the steps. I think Thomas did a good deep dive of how easy it is to click through 2 or 3 screens and set up your Fabric network. So that's what he keeps calling. He keeps calling this as click, click, click session.
He's very optimistic about everything. He's good. And I
Yeah.
can see a question. Thomas, this is for you.
Are there any cons?
Any cons? Yeah.
In ChainStack? I believe if you were to use ChainStack for the hackathon, the major con is you don't get to learn about the infrastructure because it's all done when you click. You won't spend much time on the infrastructure. It's actually our prompt, our what we help to do. I myself have been involved with hackathons, and I know how hard it is to develop a working demo, they call it, in a short time frame, and especially when you have to deal with Fabric, which is on the next tier difficulty. So I would strongly recommend use ChainStack for your hackathon. It saves you all the time on the infrastructure side, and you just have to write your chain code. You can just build on top of my repo, and yeah, and then you have a working demo like that in a snap. Yeah. So are there any cons on ChainStack? I wouldn't say there would be. Maybe because we handle the infrastructure for you, you don't really learn the deep down, but you only have 2 weeks, so I rather you spend those time in on the business side or business model and all the chain code and all that. You have anything to add, Alex?
Yeah, no, and I would have to also that you can also take that as a learning opportunity, having the entire engineering team there. We're very happy to to give you additional resources or pointing you out on anything that will help you develop your knowledge and understanding. We tend to be quite chatty, as you can see. We are also very passionate about engineering, so just reach out and make use of our team.
So Alex and Thomas, I see a few questions are flowing in. So I'll pick up probably one by one. So there is one question where people are asking, how do I use SDK? So probably that is the example which you showed, right, with the web app, Thomas?
Yep. So there's actually two approach. I'm gonna share my screen again. Desktop. There's actually two approach to how you can communicate with the network from your backend or Node.js, Golang, whichever backend language you're comfortable with. So I use the binaries, the peer binaries. You can see here. I'm using this approach. So basically, we have these HRF binaries that we downloaded, and I'm not gonna open it. Sorry. So these are binaries that we can execute, and using the certs we download exported from ChainStack, you can be validated and execute certain commands. So in the repo, we actually has wrapper functions like execute. Let me show you how it looks like. Yep. So it basically calls the execute file from the Node.js library, and we execute the chain code, and we have some arguments that we put in. So you really have to deep dive into the repo, but there's not a lot of codes. It should be quite easy to understand. I wrote it specifically so simple as possible for you to understand. So right here, we just basically pass the arguments in, and we execute the CLI commands, right, like that. And we do whatever you saw on the UI. Like when we install chain code, we package the chain code, which is in here. And then after that, we install it. And when we approve the chain code, we execute the approve for my command, peer lifecycle command, and etc. If you were to use the SDK, you can do so. That will involve you creating gateway, wallet, and all that different steps. I just take a different approach to the SDK because when I was trying between the two, I think this is a lot easier to understand, and it actually gives me a lot of flexibility and a lot of control. Whilst the SDK, there are certain functions that they provide, and there are certain functions that they have not implemented. So I decided to go with using the binary directly instead of using SDK. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, Thomas. And there is also another question where people are asking if there is a detailed session on Fabric itself. And I'm sure Alex has pasted a link on YouTube from YouTube for a detailed session on that. And next question is for you, Alex, where one of our participants is asking if they can use ChangeStack for their production deployment.
Sure. And probably so yes, of course, you can go to prod with ChangeStack. As you can see, like what you see, this is like the deployment side, the initial side. But then when it comes to scaling, you just need to add more members, and you can go to prod. Maybe there is a question of and also you can go to prod with a like a fully fledged product that is already on prod, and you want to lift and shift. That's something that we can also facilitate. But if you're shifting from pre-prod to prod, then we can set it up, at any stage of maturity. I'm not sure if that's also a question about, how the commercial side is set up. That's something that we can also discuss.
Awesome. So Alex, I'll share across your email ID to all the participants. So if they are interested in going to production post the event, or probably for some of their projects, they will reach out to you directly.
Sure. And also on the website, there is an easy calculator for estimation of costs. You just go to changestack.com/pricing, and everything is very transparent. There is no hidden no hidden charges in that sense. We don't charge per transaction, but only on computation and storage. But again, for the hackathon is free. Everything is free, so no sweat on this one.
Alex, I guess next question would also be for you, if you could answer, or maybe Thomas can answer. So if a team is working on this project and we have 4 members in the team, so everybody in the team need to provide their credit card details and open an account separately, or is it per team?
It's per team. So you will create an organization with one account, and then you can invite members. Thomas, I'm not sure. Everyone needs to open it then with a credit card, right?
So
you can use the same one, right? But you can also use the same one, right?
Yep. So first of all, you can use the same credit card on different accounts, and once again, you will not be billed for 14 days. Am I right, Alex?
I think it's for the entire hackathon, which is about a month. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So 1 month of free usage. So you can use the same credit card for different accounts. And to answer Jay, so it depends on your project. As you can see, when you form a consortium, you need multiple members in the network. So it depends. If you need three organizations in the network, you have to open 3 different accounts of 3 different organizations. Can multi-person use simultaneously? I'm sorry, Vipin, I don't understand the question.
Maybe like sharing logins across more than one person. I think we're hard enforcing single IPs, but I'm not. That would be very cheeky, Vipin. Don't do it. Just open an account. But if the credit card is a barrier, then let us know.
I don't think there will be an issue using the same card for different accounts. Yeah.
Yeah, you can authenticate multiple users with the same. Like it's not like individual ID. It's fine. Vipin, I hope that answered the question. So don't share logins, create an account for each. And if you have an issue with the credit card details, just let me know. Between Arun and Kamlesh and our team, we will figure it out. Don't worry. Yeah, I mean, at the end of this session, you're very free to just open an account and go and play around. And after that, you will be getting very busy with building, the architecture and the proposition on the actual hackathon, right? You don't want to worry about the DevOps, but just know that the Gitter lobby is there. After this session, you can just get in touch with us at any point. And you will be able to go back and look at this video. I posted it's more extensive, the Fabric Bootcamp, because you will see actual participants deploying alongside Thomas. And by the way, it's very interesting to see if something doesn't go right is more valuable than everything goes right, because you will see what are the possible, hiccups that are coming along the way, and a troubleshooting for that as well live. Aaron, I hope I'm answering all the questions, but happy to.
Yes,
to be
that's awesome. Thanks again to ChangeStack team and participants. If you do have more questions, so as Alex and okay, so I guess there is one more example. Sorry, one more question.
Where can we find more examples from ChangeStack deployment? What, Basha, what do you mean is like other customers or use cases or more videos? Can you clarify the questions? Use cases, yeah. So we have, you can find there are use cases on our website. Maybe Neha, who is our marketing manager here on the call.
Alex,
Neha, maybe you can post the links.
Alex, maybe some kind of code samples to look into it, I think.
Sorry, Kamlesh, I didn't catch that.
I think she is looking for the code samples to refer.
Code sample. Okay. We can post the repos. Just a second. Between Neha and myself. Give us a second. We can. And in general, if you go to doc.changestack.com, is it docs? Wait, 1 second. Give me like 1 minute to post the link. Okay, there you go. Neha, you're faster than me. But in general, you just, oh, so sorry. 1 second. You can just head there and you will see there are tutorials. And for Hyperledger Fabric, there is one more examples that's on the Universal Basic Income opt-in. That's the one. And that's another tutorial. But we'll be happy to give you additional guidance and other examples there if needed.
Great.
I think there is one for you.
Yes. So we recommend all our participants to use Hyperledger technologies. Any project within Hyperledger stack is good for us. And along with Hyperledger, if you do want to use another technology to show interoperability, we are more than happy to see those use cases. And also Thomas pasted a code example link where you can find samples on Fabric.
Awesome. Yeah, the last link is the repo that we just used today. Yeah. So it has a lot of codes in it that I wrote. Yeah.
So do try out ChangeStack platform and see how easy it is to manage your blockchain. You can actually focus on your application development for next 2 weeks while you leave all the complexity on blockchain deployment to ChangeStack. And that's how at least Thomas keeps calling it again, click session, right? Awesome. So up next, and thank you to ChangeStack team for spending time with us and giving this kind of deep dive, and also always backing us in all our initiatives. We know ChangeStack is always available for us. It could be any event that we call out. As soon as we send a mail, then it's like, hey, we are always here to support Hyperledger community, and don't feel shy to stop asking us. So it's that kind of support we always hear from ChangeStack.
I'm going to just plug one if I can, because I always do this. On the 8th of 9th, the Kerala Blockchain Academy is organizing a great event for women in blockchain. And has nothing to do with only being women as part of this event. It's just to celebrate the women that are part of the blockchain community as a whole. And it's a great initiative. I will be speaking on the 9th at 12 p.m. To give an overview of DeFi. So it's a deep dive on everything DeFi. If you don't know what decentralized finance is and you want to get deeper into it, then join in. And any ladies in the room, please do come. Any non-ladies in the room, come as well. it's for everyone. Kerala Blockchain Academy is doing great grassroots work. So just wanted to just flash the event, just joining 8th and 9th next week.
Thanks, Alex. Up next, last but not least, can we have mail IDs to connect in case of any issue? Yes, Vipin. So I guess Neha has shared you. Sorry. So we shared, I think ChangeTag team shared links of how you can get directly in touch with the team. Neha, can you repost it if you don't mind?
The Gitter channel.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. Sure. So, and thanks, ChangeTag team. Up next, we are open to answer any questions related to hackathon itself, right? And we received your survey. We still recommend, if you haven't filled survey, go fill out the survey. That will give us idea of where you're participating from. I know we have teams from Europe, we have teams from Asia Pacific, and we do even have teams from America region. So filling up survey will help us and understanding the demographic and help us handle the event further down the line for later steps. And with this, I would like to play another video where which gives you gist of how the event is and where are we at current step and what are the next steps expected. Awesome. So, so this video, I guess, has given you gist of how the event is and what are the next steps involved. So, as a brief, right? So the very next step is the hackathon is open and all the problem statements are available. Please go to Hyperledger India Chapter wiki or Confluence page. You will find all the problem statements for 2021. Start hacking. Uh, we will send out a template on which you will be submitting your proposals, and 21st would be 21st of current month, that is March 21st, would be last date for you to submit your proposals. So jury panel will be evaluating all your proposals from 21st to 28th, and they will choose top teams who will be doing a live demo of their solutions. So as a best practice, right, if you would like to impress our jury panel better, then I would recommend you do your homework in the sense like create videos wherever possible, create uh, I mean a solution diagram which in the proposal template which we are going to send. It will have pointers for you. Um, you'll have all pointers in that PPT template which I are going to send you. And when make sure that you do submit that by 21st so that we have 1 week of time for our jury panel to evaluate all your submissions. And this first evaluation will happen anonymously, in the sense jury panel will not be talking to each other when they evaluate in the first round. And those scores will be aggregated to choose top teams for the finals. And the final evaluation will be happening live on the call, just like this. And only selected participants will be invited for the live event. In the sense, it won't be made public unless you would like us to make the demo public. And it will be one team at a time that we are going to invite on the call. And that final would be on April 3rd. But again, as I said, the first evaluation is going to happen on 21st. So your solution should be ready to some extent, and you should be able to impress our jury by 21st. And with that, any questions? Or anybody who would like to register who haven't already registered, could you raise your hand and maybe we'll ask you questions, or maybe you can unmute yourself and ask questions.